Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today, we need to take a little bit of a look at the Family Decks 2 and ask ourselves the questions of what's going on. Let's explain, shall we? So over in Japan, a little while ago at this stage, they went and released the Family Decks 2. These are very cool products. They actually came as two different versions. You had the little version, which just had the Pikachu and Cinderace decks. And then you had the bigger version, which also added in the Tyranitar deck. And this introduced Shauna back into the game. This was where Shauna first came round. It introduced Cook, which incidentally isn't a good card, but it's still there. And it gave us the Okacheke Phantom, which as far as I'm concerned is still the best reason to get these decks. And shout out to the lovely Antoine Boulet, who continues to earn that lovely moniker, because I was going to go and buy one of these family deck sets from Japan just to get this Okacheke Phantom before Antoine was awesome and sent me one. Very happy was he. The thing is, these decks are relevant, and they got a whole bunch of exclusive cards, so we've got to ask the question of where are they? Because as it stands at the moment, these are completely and utterly missing in action. Now, we essentially have two questions here. Question number one, are they going to be included in a main set? And question number two, are we going to get a second version of the Battle Academy? So let's take them one by one. The first question, are they going to be coming in a main set? Because of course it is interesting to note that the first family decks were pretty much printed as the Battle Academy over here, but they also ended up in Hidden Fates. Hidden Fates basically ended up with all of these cards. So, even if you didn't buy the Battle Academy, any of these cards that were relevant and good and that you wanted to pick up, etc., you absolutely were able to do so. Go and get yourself some Hidden Fates. You will be okay. And the fact of the matter is, no, these are not hyper-competitive decks, and no, they're not terribly likely to transform the format. But that's not the point, ladies and gentlemen. The point is that we don't actually know how good these are going to be until they're actually released. And at this stage, it's worth asking ourselves the questions of, are they actually going to get here? You know, Cook is not a particularly good card, but it does heal 70 damage from your active Pokemon. And sure, it's a supporter, and sure, it's not terribly amazing and all of that, but who's to say there isn't going to be some deck that's got a really nice Pokemon draw engine that wants to use this as a supporter turn after turn to start healing? No, it's not terribly likely, but it remains absolutely possible, and that's kind of my point here. I mean, we do have 6 Pokemon V that are exclusive to these decks and not found elsewhere. We got ourselves Appleton V. Now, admittedly, free energy 100 and heal 30 is not particularly great, but it's there. We got ourselves Cinderace V, free energy 210, discard 2 fire energy from this Pokemon. And bearing in mind that Cinderace V Max is a thing, I actually really like this. In terms of Cinderace V, and I made this point when we looked at this first time round, if I'm playing a Cinderace V Max deck, yes, I know we've got another Cinderace V, I like this one. Honestly, this is my favourite Cinderace V. So if I'm playing a Cinderace V Max deck at this stage, you'd better believe I'm actually genuinely a little bit upset, because as far as I'm concerned, and as always, please feel free to argue with me in the comment section, but I think this is the best of the Cinderace V. And it's completely missing, and as it stands at the moment, we don't have it. There's Greninja V for all those Greninja fans. Flip 3 coins, 80 damage for each heads admittedly isn't great, but you never know. In some flippy deck, it could be fun. Pikachu V. Okay, there's nothing really to like about Pikachu V. We've got way better Pikachu V. I like the artwork on this one. It looks really cute, but I will admit this Pikachu V is... it's honestly just a bad card. I would love to give you a counter argument, but it's just kind of bad. Lucario V, again, free energy 120, only attack. It's kind of bad. And Tyranitar V, free energy 84, energy 150. No, it's not a particularly good card. It's one of those that's kind of hard to argue in favor of. So it's probably just Cinderace V that we should be worried about. And maybe Cook is good at some point. Or maybe some of the others are interesting. I mean, we've not seen a reprint of Judge yet. We know that a reprint of Judge is coming. We've not seen Judge. Well, Judge has been out in Japan for a little while because they are in these family decks. And Judge is a legitimately viable good card. So my point is, no, these are not phenomenal decks, and I am not going to try and convince you that they are. But I absolutely am going to tell you that there are reasons why we should want these decks. And maybe it's just Judge and Cinderace V. Maybe it's even less than that. That's not the point. Because who are we to start judging who is actually going to be good and who is actually going to want to play which cards? Maybe none of them. But the fact of the matter is there are a whole bunch of unique cards that cannot be found elsewhere that we're currently missing. Now, there is every possibility that these end up in Fusion Strike. We don't know is the honest answer. But the fact of the matter is that Fusion Strike is going to be the largest set ever. They are going to be bringing in a bunch of cards from elsewhere. And one of the prevailing theories, something that is absolutely possible, is that the family deck cards end up in Fusion Strike. Do not believe anyone that tells you these are confirmed. They are not confirmed. We don't know one way or the other. No one has managed to get that information. But that's not the point. They could be, they could not be. We'll have to wait and see. We will find out sooner or later. And obviously the most important thing here is that we get the cards. Getting the cards has got to be the main thing, the most important thing. That's got to be our focus, because like I've said, there are cards here that people might want to use. Okay. But even outside of that, we've then got the question of, well, what about the Battle Academy 2? Because, of course, the first lot of family decks in Japan basically got printed as a Battle Academy, and I'm going to be perfectly honest with you here, right? Battle Academy did well. This was a really good thing for the Pokemon Company. I mean, first of all, it's just a phenomenal product. Basically what it is, it takes 3 decks that don't have weakness or resistance, because that's very important. If they hit weakness on each other, that would be rubbish. And then essentially you just play them. There was Pikachu, Mewtwo, and Charizard first time round. And it basically turns the Pokemon TCG into a board game. And then you can go and buy yourself extra packs and all of that if you wish. But you can just play it as a board game with those 3 decks. And for people that are put off by the idea of a trading card game, or for people that just want a nice easy way into the game, this is a phenomenal product. And as a side note, if you know anyone that wants to get into the game or just wants to try the game out, or you want to show the game to new people or whatever, I would recommend the Battle Academy very, very highly. Plus, if you need another reason, the Charizard in the deck does actually have an exclusive stamp, so it's different from the one from Hidden Fates. Just putting that out there. It also went and got a Toy of the Year award. It got Best Game at Toy of the Year, which I think is probably, something to maybe boast about a little bit. And although we don't have great information, unfortunately, I'm led to believe it sold pretty well as well. So basically, it's a product that sold pretty well and won an award and seems perfectly positioned to actually fill that gap of Pokemon TCG board game or things of that nature. And yet, as it stands at the moment, nothing. No news whatsoever. And as a side note, no, it's not coming out this year. No, it's not an unrevealed product which is going to be coming out in time for Christmas. At this stage, it is pretty much confirmed it's not. And the reason is, if this was coming out this year, it would really have to come out in November, because this is a classic kind of product you want people to buy as Christmas presents, and you don't really release them in December if you can help it. These are November products. Or earlier, but I'm saying November's kind of like your cutoff. And the thing is, we've already seen the EVV Max decks, which have a release date of the 3rd of December, so Pokemon tend to reveal them in the order they're going to be released. So the fact that we've seen a December the 3rd product means that we've seen all of the possible November products, which means it's not coming out this year. Now, to be fair, if you look at the gap between Battle Academy 1 and the Family Deck 1, it absolutely makes sense that these would be released next year, sometime around summer probably. I think that's when the last one was released. But as it stands at the moment, we've just got this big Family Deck size hole. And I do think it is absolutely possible that the cards are in Fusion Strike. And I do think it is absolutely possible that we get a Battle Academy 2 next year. But as it stands at the moment, we have no confirmation. And it's worth pointing out, these have been out in Japan for a while. It's not like these are brand new products that came out last week. I mean, the deck list for them was revealed in like summer. These came out in the summer. So, yeah. It's been months, ladies and gentlemen. It's been months and months and months. Surely at some point they will get here, especially the cards, which have got to be the most important thing. For now, I guess we just have to wait and see. As a side note, if all these Pokemon V do come in Fusion Strike, do please remember there are no full art versions, alternate art versions, or any of that. So we will just get them as Pokemon V. We won't be getting any full arts or alternate arts. They will just be regular Pokemon V. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry I can't give you a better answer to that question. I wish I could. I, for one, am just going to be sitting and crossing my fingers and hoping we get them soon. But I want to know what you think. So let me know in the comment section, would you? Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name is Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.